From the 22 News Plus studio, this is 22 News in Focus with Patrick Berry.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's edition of In Focus. Today is going to be a fun show. It's an interesting topic. It's about the movie business, but not Hollywood's movie business. It's our local movie business. So I am being joined today by Chris Ferry, over there to your left, or whichever. It's online. And then Wally Marzano-Lesnovich. Thank you both for joining me today. Greatly appreciate you guys coming here and your time. They are from the Easthampton Film Festival. Chris is the director. Wally, what's your title with the film festival?
Co-chair of the development committee.
Co-chair of the development committee. I love it. Chris, let me start with you because you launched the Easthampton Film Festival just a couple of years ago. Tell me about it.
Yeah, my family moved to the area in 2020, and I thought, well, how am I going to make some friends and build a community for myself? I'll get involved in the local film festival. I like film, and there wasn't one. And a friend of mine said, well, why don't you start one? That was very intimidating, and I Googled it. How do you start a film festival? And it turns out it's pretty easy to do. So I did.
Were you in the film business before you moved here, or just a film fan?
I mean, I had produced some independent films before we had kids.
Okay.
I don't really know what I was doing. It was just something I was jumping on board with some friends. But starting the festival as a way to build a community for myself and showcase the work that local independent filmmakers were doing, got that bug going again. I said, well, I want to get involved in making some of these movies again. So I've started up in a much more concerted way as a producer.
And Wally, you're fairly new to this area too, right?
Yes, we moved here actually around the same time in 2020. And I first got connected with the film festival just by submitting a short film that I had been in and written. And I'd done some independent film for years. And so to find the community that Chris was building and growing was kind of it was a godsend.
So now, Wally, where did you move here from?
I grew up in northern New Jersey. And
Okay.
I had lived both in New York and New Jersey. But my wife's family is here.
Okay. And Chris, where did you come from?
We had been in New York City for 20 years.
So did you two know each other from the film business in the New York metropolitan area?
Not at all.
No. Really? Okay.
It was Western Mass that brought us together.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny. Okay. So, Chris, is the Easthampton Film Festival, as it is today, what you envisioned several years ago?
I don't think I knew when I started it I didn't have an idea of what I wanted it to become. I think at first I was wondering if this was even viable. And the first year went very well. And then the second year was sort of, geez, can I do this again? Because it was a lot of work and it was really just me. And then by the third year, I had a guy, a friend that grew out of the festival, want to be technical director. And then this past year, it's only been 4 years.
Right.
This past year, I've had Wally, and we went from one person to 2 people to like 12 people.
Really?
And
That's
I
excellent.
think now that we have this kind of buy-in and committees and a vision, we've got a roadmap for the next 5 years, and then a roadmap all the way through the next 10 years that's very, very ambitious in terms of what this could be for the community, for other local businesses, for filmmakers regionally and instead of just locally. And that's really exciting. But I don't think I started with that.
And one of the things that Chris has done is through the festival, each month there's a filmmaker meetup.
Okay.
So he brings people together, whether they're cinematographers, screenwriters, actors, producers. I've made some new friends through that. And so if any of your viewers are watching, they should seek it out, get on the mailing list, come to a meetup. They're very casual. They're often at abandoned building brewery, but they can really meet other creatives, which I think is the best part. Because before you did this, there wasn't a central hub of, okay, here are people who are in the film industry in Western Mass.
Right. I know the Berkshire Film and Media Collaborative out of Pittsfield is trying to expand out of Berkshire County. So have you met up with Diane at all?
Oh, yeah.
Good.
Diane is terrific. And We don't have a concrete plan for what that looks like yet. They used to do meetups
Right.
periodically in this area, and COVID,
Yeah.
had such a negative impact on anything face to face. But that's a conversation we're having again. I think we all understand that because film is such a collaborative art form, its very nature is collaborative, that having events where people can just connect and network and exchange numbers and talk about each other's projects, that's foundational to this idea of promoting independent filmmaking in the region. And it's a big land area, but it's actually a pretty small community, Western Massachusetts.
It's funny you say that it is a big land area, but it's a small, tight-knit community. And what I like about what you have done with Easthampton is, and I've known Diane Perlman from Berkshire Film and Media Collaborative for many, many years. And her goal pre-COVID was get those people who are making their movies and doing their things out of their homes, because it's a home-based business, for lack of a better description.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially, I do a lot of screenwriting, and that is a very lonely, coffee-driven, staring at the computer kind of day. And so to get out and meet other people and talk about your stories and other parts of the process is huge.
Now, have you guys found that same comment has come from other people in the local filmmaking? It's like, oh, I'm so excited now to be able to get out and meet others,
Yeah, so
Yeah,
the
very much
intensity of it is a little alarming, quite frankly. I mean, it's wonderful. It's good.
It is. I think I give you a lot of credit for giving everyone a place to do this, and when you're meeting new people and talking about, oh, okay, this is what you do as a cinematographer, this is what you do as a producer, you can sort of broaden your idea of film, because
Right.
in independent film, we tend to wear a lot of hats, right?
True.
Mainly I'm a screenwriter, but I've also directed and produced and acted. But when you meet other people and talk about what they do, it broadens your appreciation of what you do, and you understand the collaborative nature that you're alluding to better.
Mm. So we are up on our first break. We're talking about local filmmaking with the Easthampton Film Festival. We'll be right back after this.
This is 22 News in Focus with Patrick Berry. This is 22 News in Focus with Patrick Berry.
Welcome back, everyone, to today's edition of In Focus. I'm here in the 22 News Plus studio. We've got Chris Ferry, the executive director of the Easthampton Film Festival, along with Wally Marzana-Lesnovich, who is he's a director on the board. Do I got that right?
Yeah,
I just promoted you, whatever.
That's it. Great.
Co-chair. There is a lot of talent in this area. You both came from the New York City metropolitan area, which is where I think most people think that's where the talent lies. And you have to go there to really make a name for yourself or make something of value. So have you found that through the people you've met in the local Pioneer Valley, Western Mass filmmaking community, that the talent is there and you don't need to be in New York, LA, Chicago, or any of those bigger towns?
I think, yes, we have, wouldn't you say?
1,000%.
Some of the filmmakers that I've gotten to know and seen some of their shorts are remarkably good and just as polished as anything you might see out of the coasts. And look, from a business standpoint, you do occasionally have to go there, per se.
Right.
But the pandemic changed a lot of things where, I had a meeting last week. It's all on Zoom. You can Zoom with people all across the country. But I do think you'll find that the level of talent here is as good as anywhere else.
Yeah. I don't have a metric for that. Like, I don't have a chart to point to, but one of the things that was such a challenge in New York City was because of the population density, because of the price of everything and what just a square foot of space cost you if you wanted to rent a location or a venue to screen something. It felt to me like an uphill struggle to make anything happen. Your batteries were half drained before you even got started. And so one of the advantages I think we have out here is there isn't that pressure from the get-go
The financial pressure.
a financial pressure, but also just a pressure on your time and your bandwidth and your attention. And
It's a cheaper way of living out here too. So you hear the old, yeah, I'm in the movie business, but I'm also a waiter at your local restaurant because you got to make ends meet.
that's right.
Here, you think of New York rents, $2,000-$3,000 a month for a small studio apartment. You don't have that here.
That's right.
You don't have those costs associated with living in a bigger city, as you do here in Western Mass. Rents are expensive, but nothing like New York or LA.
No.
Right. And it's an expensive art form in any case, even
Absolutely.
with digital bringing the prices down. I mean, you can make a movie on your iPhone. But I think, the thing about independent film is, I mean, if you had to describe it in one sentence, it's basically you don't have a budget, right?
Right.
You're not
You don't have a
associated with the studio. Yeah. So you're answering all of the questions yourself and you're solving all of the logistics yourself. There are a number of different goals within independent cinema. We have professional writers like Wally and Nate Davis and Alex Manoogian working, who are trying to achieve certain professional goals and financial goals with the art. And then we have other local filmmakers like a guy named Cole Whitaker.
Yes, Cole's a great example.
Who just, again, won the Ashfield Film Festival.
I love that short.
On Saturday. And I think right now he's just exploring his love of the craft. Enormously talented guy. A natural writer, director, actor. I mean, he's
funny.
If he wants to go places with it, I think he could. He's got two small kids.
But one of the things I think that Cole's done with his films and other filmmakers here have done is also use the area. Right, like you
very
are
beautiful area.
Exactly, setting stories in this area in a way that if you're making a story in New York, that's completely different.
Yeah.
That's just a very different kind of film.
Yeah.
So I give them a lot of credit.
Yeah.
So the types of films, Chris, you alluded to it. Are they all short films? Are they what I would call feature length versus shorts? Are they animated? Are they horror? Are they sci-fi? Is there anything like that this region is better known for creating?
So the Easthampton Film Festival focuses on short films, I think, for two reasons. One, it's easier to program a block of short films and showcase more work, which is part of why I'm doing it. I want to showcase as much really good work as I can. I think people are making features. The bar on making an independent feature is a lot higher. You need, probably a larger group of people to commit for a longer period of time.
And you need a little money to even do a micro budget feature in a way that a short doesn't.
Exactly. If people are giving you their weekend, they might be willing to do it for sandwiches and a heartfelt thank you.
Yeah.
And copy of the tape. But when you're making a feature and you're asking people to commit 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks of their time, you got to pay them.
Yeah.
So the budget goes up.
So while you mentioned something about the finance side of it a moment ago.
Yes.
Is there money in this area for creating movies?
There is. I mean, I think there's money in every area. You just have to, find it, which is part of the process of being a producer, part of the work. But what I think Chris is talking about, these short films, because I'm also the co-director of the Lava Film Festival in Greenfield. You mentioned the Ashfield. Ashfield Film Festival. There's a couple of different local festivals. And the shorts, you don't need the money, right? You can make a short for no money.
On your iPhone.
Right. And, I've personally made shorts and crowdfunded them, so you can do that. And like Cole or somebody else, KT, Melissa, you can make a great short for not a ton of money. Whereas, like you say, if you're going to do any kind of feature, you are going to have to go chase the money. And that's just, if you're going to spend your time in the arts, raising money is just part of your life.
Right.
Like, you got to be comfortable.
Yeah. So in the Easthampton Film Festival, we do show features. I think what we did this past year was we showcased a feature called Tallywhacker by some local filmmakers that had terrific success of a no-budget independent feature film shot right here in the area. And we haven't selected it yet, but we have a couple of good candidates for this year to be a featured feature film.
Okay.
And then I think the rest will be shorts, just because, a short is an easier lift and you can
Yeah.
tell a great story without needing to pull together quite as many resources.
Right. All right, we are up on our second break. We're talking local films with the Easthampton Film Festival. We'll be right back.
This is 22 News in Focus with Patrick Berry. This is 22 News in Focus with Patrick Berry.
Welcome back to today's edition of In Focus. I am your host, Patrick Berry. I am joined here in the 22 News Plus studio by Chris Ferry from the Easthampton Film Festival and Wally Marzano-Lesnovich, also from the Easthampton Film Festival. We're talking local filmmaking right here in the Pioneer Valley, Hamden, Hampshire, Franklin counties. Wally, you mentioned you're also working with the Lava Film Festival up in Greenfield, right?
Yes, yeah, they have a local center for arts and various activities, and Vanessa Query and I co-direct their film festival now in its 5th year. And it really showcases maybe smaller shorts, more local, more emerging, a lot of student shorts, as opposed to Easthampton, which is sometimes a little more seasoned craftsmen, I would say, filmmakers. But it gives the community an opportunity to showcase their work, which is really cool.
You both have mentioned use the phrase shorts. How long is a short? Or is that sort of up to interpretation? A short could be 2 minutes, a short could be 20 minutes.
Absolutely. It could be 2 minutes, it could be 20 minutes. Personally, I like it shorter, cut
Short
it down.
attention span theater?
Exactly. Well, we all do live in a time where everything is,
right,
influenced by the internet, social media. So, but yeah, as a programmer yourself, what do you think?
I mean, I think technically, if you were going to, look it up on the internet, it's anything that's shorter than a feature film, which is 75 minutes now, I think. Well, the goalpost changes a little bit, but
it does. The Academy's rule is under 40 minutes.
Under 40.
Under 40
is a short.
Is a short. But when you start to see a 35-minute short, that's got to be really well made and compelling to hold your attention span.
But also, to your point earlier, a 35-minute short is a lot of work. I mean, Chris, have you ever been on a full-length movie set? I know, Wally, you have.
Yeah.
So, it's funny, I have as well. So you kind of see those, the directors, they shoot this one 20-second scene 500 times in a day. So that's 20 seconds. Then you compound that by, so there's how many of those in a minute? How many of those in 10 minutes? How many of those in a 35-minute movie? It just, a 35-minute short takes a lot of time versus a 5-minute short.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I often find that when you make a short, and I've made quite a number of shorts now, you make the short and then you watch it and you really get the sense that, we can lose this, we can get rid of that. Editing it down can really help.
Yeah. And I think it varies in terms of a programming challenge. It varies from festival to festival. Even Lava, you can speak to how Lava does it. Ashfield has a 5-minute cap, so they only screen movies 5 minutes and under. And because at EFF we do 2-hour blocks in which about an hour 20 is actually screening, and then we do a talk back with the filmmakers. A 10-minute short is the sort of sweet spot for me. If you give me a 1.5-minute short and it's excellent, I'll figure out a way to screen it.
Sure.
But it's going to fit oddly with some of the other ones. And if it's a 22-minute short, again, if it's excellent, we're going to screen it, but it's going to kind of dominate that block in a different way.
Absolutely.
So let's switch gears a little bit to the actual film festival that takes place. When is it, Chris? Is it open to the public? Is it only open to EFF members?
Absolutely open to the public. We're going to do it the last weekend of April.
Okay.
In 2026. And we actually have some fall programming coming up the first weekend of November. Actually, technically the second. It's November 7th and 8th.
Okay.
We're going to do a fundraiser at the Marigold Theater for the Easthampton Community Center. And we are going to do some screenings, a best of the festival screening and a horror screening the following day on Saturday. We don't have all that information published yet on the site because we're still finalizing all the details, but EasthamptonFilmFestival.com. That's the source of truth. Check that out. Keep your eye there.
So outside of the film festival, what happens? What does the EFF do the remaining 50 weeks of the year?
How much of the 7 minutes do we have?
We're down to about 2.
Oh, okay. The short version. So we do these filmmaker meetups, which is a great social opportunity to connect with other film interested folks. We do those once a month. Information on the website. I am working on a couple of other initiatives. I'm working on a TV show where we do what we do at the festival. We showcase a local filmmaker and their work, and we interview them about it. That's very much in production. I'm looking at this sort of quarterly initiative. I'm loosely thinking of calling an incubator, where we get groups of people together that maybe meet at the meetups and want to either try a new role. I've always wanted to direct, to say,
Okay.
or, and we make 5 minutes or less short film like you would do a 48-hour film festival, but spread out over a month. So
Oh, wow.
take a weekend to
Okay.
produce it and actually shoot it, spend the time before in pre-production, spend the time. So you have some parameters, but you're actually committing to make a
Right.
project together.
So Wally, outside of the weekend of the film festival, how are you helping budding filmmakers with your skill set and your knowledge?
Yeah, I've been lucky very much to teach a couple of screenwriting courses through the Easthampton Film Festival, and we're talking about doing that again. I privately coach some emerging writers in Pioneer Valley who are folks who are sort of coming to this after something else that they've done, and they
Right.
have a passion to learn screenwriting. And I sit on the co-chair of the board to try and help the festival grow. Because I think that everybody here, it's never too late to start. A lot of people are interested in film. They're interested in storytelling. They couldn't make it the subject, the driving force of their life, fine, for many reasons. That doesn't mean you can't do it,
Right.
Write a short film. You alluded to the iPhone. We have the technology now that we
I
all
know, it's
carry
amazing.
around. It's amazing. And, I also talk to a lot of writers who are, obviously frustrated. Most writers are, but screenwriters who haven't had their features made. And I always say, go and make a short, do it. See what happens. Find out if you like it.
It can't hurt.
Exactly.
Right. Make it short, a
Yeah.
couple minutes short. Use
Absolutely.
your cell phone.
Use your cell phone. You
You
don't
do-
have to pay a lot. It doesn't have
Right.
to cost a lot, but you can really find it rewarding. 3 of my students actually have made their shorts, and they really found it like, oh wow, this is amazing. I want to do it again. Or
Right.
one of them said, oh my God, this is a lot of work. I don't,
You will learn a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
Try and tell a 1-minute story just with your iPhone and edit together. Like, really, the Spielbergs of the world make it look easy.
Oh, yeah.
It's a lot of
Absolutely.
work.
It's a lot of work.
There's no better way to learn it than just giving it a shot yourself.
And that's what shorts are so good at.
Yeah.
You can really do it through that.
Yeah.
Don't go make a feature if you haven't made a short.
Yeah.
Start small
Exactly.
and work your way up.
Yeah.
Work your way up.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, I cannot thank you both enough for joining me today. This has been an absolutely fantastic conversation. I'm so happy that I've met both of you, through my role at Mass Appeal. But this was a fun conversation. Thank you both for joining me.
Oh, it's our pleasure.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right, folks, that's it for today's In Focus. Join us every day at 4 p.m. on 22 News Plus app. We'll see you next time.
This is 22 News in Focus with Patrick Berry.